There we go. Ha ha. Welcome back or welcome to the Hawk. And my name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. If I can just get someone to comment in the chat that you are able to see and hear me, I had a little bit of a glitch this morning, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But as far as I can tell from my end, I am live. So, how are we here? There we go. We're back. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. A little bit of a delay. Good morning. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. I'm here to talk a little bit about the energy that we're coming into this week. Very interesting energy. I'm kind of understanding more and more and more as we kind of navigate through the, these lives as to when we reflect back on what I talked to you about last week and where we're going. I talked about a lot of balance and deep rest last week. This week seems to be coming into some new beginnings and a new foundation, and as well as feeling more grounded and rooted in our spiritual well-being. I'm talking a little bit today about that center feeling more center. Okay, I'm here. I'm starting from here. That foundation piece is what we're coming into this week. It's been an interesting couple of weeks as far as the energy updates go, but I feel like we are coming into that landing pad of feelings. So as we kind of land into how we feel and how we're navigating and where we're going, we're coming into that space of, okay, that inner knowing is deepening, and that inner piece of you seems to be getting more and more connected. So I'm curious if many of you are feeling, just even though things may be a little rocky or a little bit out of balance or just a little bit shaken up a little bit, have you been feeling a little bit more grounded or rooted in that? Have you felt yourself coming into a landing space? And that's exactly how I heard it, was like, we're coming in for a landing into how we're feeling, into how we're doing, into the more of that rhythm of navigating through it all. That inner confidence and that inner piece of us is going to be growing and becoming quite loud. And when we have that inner knowing, when we have that inner peace and that inner confidence, whatever seems to come our way, we seem to be coming into a deeper space of, I got this. That I can deal with this. I can feel that we're navigating through it even when it's hard. Now, we navigate through this week, I'm really feeling a deeper connection to our subconscious. That deeper inner knowing is being turned up, as well as as things like our intuition, our spidey senses, our awareness. There's this growth that's coming, that we seem to be gaining some momentum with that confidence piece and our connection piece to energy and to spirit and to the divine and to nature, whatever resonates with you. I feel like we're coming more and more connected into that space. Um, I also feel that as we become into this awareness, as we come into that inner knowing, we also are coming into that space a little bit louder and a little bit louder of what we need to step back from. And I started feeling that over the weekend. I thought, oh, this is something I need to be whoa way over here on. And the other end of that is, this is something that I'm feeling very passionate about diving into, or very passionate about changing. And it can be changes about, your own personal well-being, or your physical health, your spiritual health, or job changes, or relationship changes. But we are coming into that space of a deeper inner knowing, a deeper sense of what you really want and what you really don't want. That volume is being turned up for us this week. And that's so, and as we navigate through that, sometimes we pull back onto old things. What if? What if? I feel that calming down for many of us, with just, and it felt like this fluffier confidence level. Now, the other thing that came up a little bit in my meditation this morning was karmic energy. Karmic, the things that we've been doing really well and coming back. And I felt a lot of the good karmic stuff coming in. So if you've been kind of seeking out new jobs, or kind of opening yourself up to new relationships, or just kind of that whole beautiful part of you, that act of kindness piece that is, I feel that coming back. And I even mentioned it in my Facebook quote this morning with, what we put out comes back. And I feel that that's coming in a lot louder this week, as well as on the other end of stuff. So, if there's been some things that haven't been in alignment, if you haven't been treated well at work, or if you haven't been treated well overall, there's some karmic stuff that's just starting to pick up some momentum. So just kind of make sure that you're leaning in there a little bit with what you're putting out. It's going to be really important this week. um I also really want to talk about the pull back a little bit more. I feel this back from what we need to kind of step back from inward is how we're going to be leaning in. And sometimes we may feel a little bit sluggish or stuck in that. So, when if you struggle with, I need to step back, just kind of lean into that with a little bit of satisfaction with, this is where I need to be while this goes on outside of me or around me. Just kind of remember that I said it. I do feel that coming into midweek, the intuitive messages for you from your own higher self, from your own connection to spirit, I feel that you're going to have a growth in that depth of your connection. There's a lot of energy floating around right now, and there's a lot of spirit floating around right now, and our connections are going deeper. And for all of us, it may present very, very differently, right? Your own sense of inner knowing, your own sense of well-being, your own sense of what you need to do, it's going to amplify up. Mandy, a feeling like my energetic protection or boundaries is like dampering field that is always present. Like my spiritual body is more present in my consciousness, a piece of me that I am aware of. Mandy, you've said that beautifully, and I think that that awareness is going to become more and more embedded, more and more connected to you. And I think as we navigate through the month, I think we are going to have these more aha moments about the directions that we want to go in. And sometimes we do kind of lean into other things like fear or uncertainty, or we kind of pull into that of what's going on in the physical world around us that may stir us up from saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. That is going to lessen, and you're going to feel some pushes. You're going to just feel this is a great time to try that. This is a great time for change. This is a great time for new beginnings. You're going to have a deeper connection. So spend some time listening a little bit of quiet time, especially if you're feeling a little bit sluggish or stuck. Just kind of step back a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to enjoy this slowdown, but I want to connect to why I'm really feeling this way. I hope that that resonates a little bit there with some of you. Let's scroll back up and just grab a couple questions here this morning now that we've kind of navigated through the energy. Kristen, I have a question. Are mediums, sorry, my eye's a little bit itchy here. Are mediums picked to be in touch spiritually, or can anyone develop these abilities? That is a beautiful question, and thank you very much for asking that. And we are all connected. We all have a connection to the spirit dimensions. We all have the ability to tap in and learn and grow. I'm not quite sure who's all watching this morning, but if I have any of my mentoring students who have taken introduction and have navigated through a couple of my workshops, who have come with little to no and previous history with learning how to connect. If you can just chime in there on your experience. We are all connected to the spirit dimensions, every single one of us. And depending on what your where your interests are, we all work very, very differently. And that's the other thing as well, is mediums, and as people, when you think about, as people, we are all different and connect and have different personalities, and different likes and dislikes. And some of us may be good at math or English or science. We're all so unique, and so is our connection to spirit. And every I've never seen two mediums work the same way. Similar perhaps, but not the exact same way, because we're all very unique. But 100%, you can grow your connection to the spirit dimensions, whether it be mediumship or animal communication, whatever, wherever you want to tap into, you can grow and learn. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that question, Kristen. I appreciate that. PJ, that's been hard for me last week. Interesting. Shaz, hi. How do we do a pendulum reading? How can we make how can we make it accurate? Um, that is a big topic. That's actually almost workshop material for a topic. Can you use pendulums? Yep. Can pendulums be influenced? Yep. Can we, unintentionally influence a pendulum? Yep. Pendulums need to be number one cleansed on a regular basis. If I was to use a pendulum, and I haven't for quite a while, I make sure that I cleanse it every time before I use it, and I set it to yes or no. Pendulums also need very direct questions. But yes, you can work with a pendulum. And again, Chaz, it's a bit of a lengthier conversation, but so we can either have a chit chat more about that some other time, or you can do a little bit of reading. Mandy, yes, more grounded, less emotionally reactive, more knowing and embodying of trust. Mandy, that you said that beautifully, and there's more of that coming. There's I always say there's no ceiling. There's no limits to our growth and our development and our connection. And the volume of that is going to be turned up. So enjoy that, Miss Mandy. I did start off with a crap ton of anxiety and fear this morning. I could barely function, but now I'm okay. Um, Cheyenne, one thing that I often say is sit with it and have a feel as to where you're holding that in your body, because you want to kind of work through. Some of us feel anxiety in our chest, some of us feel it in our shoulders or our neck or our back. Sit with it. And then what I often do is say, just grab a pad of paper and a pen and give yourself an opportunity to write something out. Sometimes we're feeling anxiety or something fear, and there's a reason for it, and sometimes there's no reason for it. And what I often will say to myself is I will give it permission to kind of lift off, but I will also ask myself, why am I feeling this way? I will ground myself, and I'll also do some protection for around myself. I'll visualize some light. I'll visualize, an archangel around me. I'll talk to my spirit guides to navigate through what we're currently sitting in, or what I'm going to be looking at later on today. Sometimes it's a bit of a heads up, as get yourself in alignment. Today could be a day of interesting or difficult learning, and sometimes anxiety, it's just anxiety. Um, Maria, I feel like I had to balance a lot of things. A lot of balance stuff has been coming up, especially last week. I felt that we were working really hard on that, and I think that that's something that we will continue to work on, is keeping ourselves in balance. I myself really have to pay attention to what's out of balance, because it's very easy to lean too far the other way. It's very easy to look at what's not right, and or what's not going well, or what's going on in the physical world, and we always have to kind of work on that balance. It's something in my spiritual practice that comes up a lot. I'm always working on that balance, right? Uh, I had a very pleasant visit with my mother yesterday, and when I returned home, I felt whole. It was a nice feeling. That's beautiful, Dee Dee. Thanks for sharing with that. Interesting dreams have been so strange. People from past entering my dreams. PJ, keep a journal. One thing with dreams is sometimes when we journal, we're able to pick up on a theme that perhaps something may be unresolved within, or sometimes there may be a message there from our dreams regarding things of the past. And sometimes it's energy. It could be people from the past kind of reevaluating or thinking about their experiences as well. Energy is so powerful. And when you think about it, have you ever, and I know I say this example all the time, but I'll say it again. Have you ever been thinking about somebody and suddenly they text you? Right? Or oh, just thinking about you, or they call you. And and that's how powerful energy is. And it can get us at that subconscious level too. That's why when we do healing work, if we're going to be sending healing to somebody, we're sending energy to them. So it is possible, PJ, that people from your past may be thinking about you, or perhaps there's something in the past lesson there that's kind of sifting around in your subconscious. Try journaling them. It's interesting to watch the pattern there sometimes, and it does give us a hint about what we may need to work on as well. Dee Dee, with acceptance and peace come clarity and balance. Absolutely. Makes me wonder makes me wonder if the anxiety came from my subconscious somehow, because I have no idea why I felt that this morning. What really helps, Cheyenne, is just simply acknowledging it and giving it permission to go. One thing with our fears and our anxieties is sometimes all we really need is to acknowledge it and say, "All right." I acknowledge that. Ouch. Way you go, right? And what I will always lean into, and I know I talked about this before, is some of that self-talk. Everything is okay. Today is going to be a glorious day. I'm feeling grounded. Some of that self-talk and answering our feelings and what we're kind of navigating through really helps us gain that momentum to push through it. Um, and new beginnings. I want to learn how to play the guitar. Oh, I love that. I want to learn how to play violin. I would. That is on my list of new lessons and new beginnings as well. Um, Lana, do we as your intersection as a collective have past lives with each other? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either. We can have past lives with people that we that are strangers that we never met, or collectively here as we meet on these lives, we can have connections with each other or past life or sorry, or soul contracts. So soul contracts can be literally minutes or even seconds long. I'm going to help you and you're going to help me. And that goes the same for past lives. Absolutely. And sometimes too, you may feel like past life often has that instant connection. PJ, I just know I've known you before. It has that kind of feeling, that pull, right? That's how often the past life connection will often feel. Um Maria, I was wondering what spirit have to say about my passion for singing. It has always been my number one passion, but I've always been unsure about whether or not I should give it a try. So when it comes to passion, so when I just want to read your words again because I love it so much. About my passion for singing, it has always been my number one passion. When we feel that passion, you gotta go for it. You gotta give yourself that opportunity to connect there. And one thing with singing, it's a very powerful spiritual connection as well, because when you think about it, it can be a release when we sing, it can be a connection when we sing. Um, I love to sing. I'm not great at it, but I do love to sing. And I because for me it's an opening to just kind of letting go or charging. Have you ever ever heard a song on the radio that makes you want to dance? It's just it's music is a very, very powerful tool. And it's also a connection to our ancestors. It's a connection to past lives. It's a big energy that kind of uplifts us or helps us to release. I really feel, Maria, the fact that you feel so passionate about it, I think you should give it a try. And I think you need to kind of lean in there with, you know, a lot of confidence and being okay wherever it takes you, right? Being okay with wherever something takes me. That's one thing that I kind of navigate into a lot is I'm going to try this and be okay with wherever it takes me. I think sometimes we get too caught up on the definition of what success looks like, or the definition, or how we may be perceived. I'm just going to enjoy it wherever this takes me. And but I also feel very excited about your singing, Maria. I feel very pumped up about it, and it's a lot of that pump is your energy as well, and your inner knowing this is something that you really feel pulled to do. Cheyenne and PJ, that's very possible. I have no idea, but at least for some, it's likely true. The other thing that's really true on that PJ and Cheyenne is we are craving quite often spiritual connection. We are craving collectiveness. We are craving community where we have that sense of belonging, and then where we help each other. We're craving that as a society as a whole. We're looking for that, for that pack or that group of people that will cheer for us, that will hold that non-judgmental space. And I feel that over the next few years, that is going to be growing and growing in a very incredible way. This sense of community, this sense of belonging, this sense of support, that is going to be coming for us as a collective, at a louder and louder and louder. But a big part of that is just feeling a space to come to. And this is why I've been do these lives is because people keep telling me that they're getting this enjoyment of just support, even just being able to say, yeah, I'm feeling like that too, and let's talk about it and let's navigate through it from a spiritual perspective. um let's see, where I just went too fast here. My mouse often gets away from me. Oh, Mandy, thank you so much. Definitely recommend working with Lana to be guided into your connection with spirit. There is a introduction to spirituality workshop on the website as well. If anybody is wants to take a look at that, if that's of interest, you're welcome to head there as well. But absolutely, we can grow and learn how to connect. All right, where do we need to go here? I'm feeling like my energy protect. Okay, sorry, Mandy, I read that one. Is it Nichelle? I hope I pronounced your name right. How does my spirit guides want me to navigate my hyper awareness and empathy? When I lean in there, I feel that you're doing a beautiful job navigating with that. But I also feel like I need to kind of make sure that you're looking after yourself as well. Being hyper aware and being, having a lot of empathy or being and connecting to other people like that, I have to get pushed into your self care a little bit. I need to turn that up. So I need to make sure that you are looking after yourself and recharging your own gas tank, your own spiritual battery. I just feel a little bit drained there. I just feel like you run on fumes sometimes. And I have to kind of give you a little bit of a push that you have to go first, or you need to kind of lean in there and recharge yourself. And I also feel that when it comes to that hyper awareness, when you're picking up on other people's stuff, you also have to make sure that you're not absorbing it. So what I would kind of practice is the exercise of observing, not absorbing, being able to observe and help people without absorbing it. Because when we absorb it, it can take us down a path of exhaustion, and it can lead us into a path of frustration, and we can get spiritual burnout from it. Like if we're not topping ourselves up, if we're not refueling, if we're not taking our own spirituality and making sure that we're feeding our own energy and recharging. I really feel I have to talk about that recharging there. Mandy, I don't have to meditate or shift my awareness to feel it. Spirit tells me it's a decent a descent of my higher self more deeply into this body, and now it's amazing. Love that. Love that. Um, by the way, Lana, I would just like to say I truly appreciate these live sessions. Thank you for all that you do. You're very welcome. It's funny how the channel kind of shifted. I will be getting back to doing some filming and of some videos to upload. But these lives are going over very well, and the feedback has been incredible with how much people are enjoying those lives. So thank you very much for validating that as well. Um, And Mandeep, I'm just wondering if there are any messages for me from my spirit guides. I'm really pulled to the angel number book here. I've spirit's asking me to pull a number from here, so I'm just going to ask what you need, and I landed on 487. You are accurately hearing and following your angel's guidance about your career and finances. And as a result, you're on the right path for fruition of your dreams. So have you been kind of leaning into I think I need to change, or I think I need to shift? Have you been kind of working towards following your dreams? You're on the right path. And you're following your intuition. I think that that is absolutely beautiful. Um, Cheyenne, speaking of learning about spiritual gifts, everyone can do it. It's like learning to play the piano. Some are naturally really good at it, some less, but we can all learn it. Absolutely, we can all learn it. And one thing that you kind of mentioned there is like learning to play the piano, 100%. And it's also about maintaining the practice of that. Being able to stay in those spiritual practice. When people ask me what is the biggest advice I can give them when it comes to their spiritual practices, is being able to stay in it, being able to always find that moment, to be able to come up with, I'll use the word schedule or a routine where you have an opportunity to lean into topping up your own spiritual practices. It's so important to be able to kind of stay in that space with it. Kristen, are there any messages here for me? Number one, I just, as soon as I read your message, very radiant about your energy there with your smile and what it does to for other people. I also feel like this real big push to encourage you to keep shining your own light. I don't know if you turn down the the dimmer switch, but I really feel, Kristen, that I have to really encourage you to shine bright. Or it just, people are not always going to receive us in a way that we hope, but shine bright anyway. You've got this brilliant, gentle, um, I- it's energy about you. I just can't stop smiling. Kristen, I also want to pull a message from the Spirit Animal Pocket Guidebook for you. I'm really pulled on there. Whoops, sorry. I had to shift my back. I got to the beaver. This is a time for purposeful and directed activity, not contemplation or procrastination. Balance your activities by providing time for rest and socializing with family and friends. Be aware of wasting time and energy and resources on unimportant matters. Don't be busy for busy's sake. Let your actions be focused and intentional. It's time to change your environment in a way that makes you feel more secure and comfortable. Beautiful. I love that. Love that. I hope that that resonates there for you. Um, Jocelyn, I've been trying to learn animal communication. Do my bunnies, dogs, spirit guides have any advice for me in pursuing this path? I love animal communication. It's one of the most amazing, amazing things that I do. I love it so much. It also brings me a lot of laughter. Being able to hear how animals think and what they're saying brings me a lot of laughter. Um, One thing that I really need to encourage you to do is to keep trying and allowing. Animals sometimes communicate in many different ways. Sometimes you will hear them, sometimes you will just know, sometimes you will feel it. Giving yourself the chance to practice and really in eh, really allowing it, just giving yourself that space without any expectations. So that is a huge one, is take away the expectation of how this is going to work. I'm just going to allow it to work. I'm going to continue to grow and to continue to develop it. I even talk to, it's going to sound funny, but I even talk to, for if I find a spider in the bathroom, I will literally talk to it. And out loud or in my mind, I'll simply say, you know what, little buddy, you can't hang out here. And I will explain. I'm gonna get a little container and I'm gonna catch you and I'm gonna take you outside. And then I feel the energy. I just kind of feel, what's that little spider saying? Now, sometimes with animal communication, and I also feel even with talking with spirit guides or mediumship, sometimes we'll lean into, what if I'm making this up? That is one thing that I think about 99% of my students will say, especially in the beginning, is what if I'm wrong or what if I'm making it up? And I just simply say allow it. Right. If just allow yourself to feel and to hear or to know. And if you don't want to share it with people, that's okay, but just simply allow it. That is the one of the biggest things that I can say to you is just allow the communication. Don't get too caught up and don't get too in your head about it. Just allow it. Okay? I hope that helped. Um, every day seems to be a new balance. I've worked it into my daily practice too. Absolutely. It's so important. It's so important to keep yourself balanced, you guys. I definitely always pay attention to my fear. I couldn't straight away, right, which I usually do because I was at work. It was completely different kind of fear that I'm used to, though. Arlene, been a rough past few weeks, feeling stuck, emotions, feeling I need to learn protection. Any advice from spirit? So one thing that I really want to talk to you about on that question, Arlene, is what resonates with you as far as the word protection goes. So for me, I resonate with white light. For me, I resonate with nature, and I will call in that energy or connect to it. So you can ask for the energy of think of something strong or tall, or powerful, and connect with that energy and just visualize it around you, visualize it protecting you. If perhaps you might resonate with a shield, protecting you from keeping energy that doesn't serve your highest good from coming around you. Whatever works with you, call that forward, lean into it, allow that to become something that you can call inward or ask for. I also work with my spirit guides. I take them with me everywhere I go. I ask them to protect me. I ask them to clear the path for me before I go get somewhere. But when it comes to the stuck emotions, the other thing that I want to talk about though is, have you sat with them? Have you spoken to them? Have you given yourself a chance to speak? And it can be, like I said before, it can be in front of a mirror. It can you can write yourself a letter, giving yourself permission to acknowledge it. Is there something there that you haven't acknowledged? I'm really encouraged. Feeling encouraged to talk to you about that. I hope that resonates there with you. I do have to watch the time there, though, here, you guys, because I'm gonna have to get going soon. Um, Someone has been trying to get my attention, and I can't tell if it's a new guide or spirit. They keep stepping out of my periphery, and it feels like a mixture of both those kinds of energy thoughts. Um, Mandy, I when I lean in there, I feel very much that it's both. I feel it's spirit and spirit guides when I lean in there. But what I also feel is as I feel like, and I can see them and I can even feel them in my arms, is when you lock arms with other people, when you kind of lock arms and kind of make like a line or a circle. I feel that that's what they're kind of showing you, is that there is that solid line from the spirit dimensions helping you move forward and helping you learn and helping you grow. I feel it, and I feel like you're gonna feel it coming in even more. So don't be surprised if peripherally you're seeing like more than one or a line, because I keep seeing it as a line when I connect there. They're holding the line there for you as you move forward and as you learn new and as you connect in different ways. They're holding the line of support. I feel it, a big line of support there, like that barrier, right? Like you're just supported, and I feel like you need to kind of lean in there a little bit more chit chat with I see you supporting, and I feel it at many different levels, because I also feel it very much as nature gods, and I know that you connect very deeply to nature, but I think it's like the elementals and to nature. I get the nature energy as well as spirit guides and loved ones in the spirit dimensions. It's like they're holding the line there for you. I love that. um, I also got a great passion for singing and performing. There's nothing that makes me feel more at home than the stage and hearing music in general. I agree with Lana. Try it. I feel the same way with platform. So even though I can't sing, when I do platform mediumships or when I go in front of a group of people to channel, when I get on that platform, I just feel so elevated and so connected. And we all have our own way of getting that feeling of just feeling so free and feeling so loved and just feeling so passionate about something. And I think our passions, let's just talk about that for a moment. I think our passions, whether it be I have a passion for counting the stars, or I have a passion for singing, or I have a passion for painting, whatever your passion is, I think and it's come up, it's they're chit chatting with me up there. Sorry. When I start with my speech, it's because they're chit chatting. So when it comes to our passion, that is something that fills our energy, right? That's something that fills our soul, if you will. And that's something that kind of helps us naturally to have our connection with the spirit dimensions. How do you feel about pest control? I have a bad cockroach infestation, but feel bad with killing them. You know, I hear you. Um, but I also think that for our well-being, sometimes we don't have a choice, and when it comes to infestations that may not be good for our health, I feel like we may not have a choice. But what I will do if I was, in your situation, is I literally bless them. I literally do. I thank them, I bless them, and this is what needs to be done for your own health and your own well-being, right? And then the other thing is too is that all creatures come with soul contracts, and they also know that they may be exiting from a very different way. But anything that I have to lean in there that way, I bless them. So, Sandra, I hope that helps navigate through that. But that is a tough one. It's the same thing. I mean, you can even let's just even talk about fruit flies. I mean, if you have a fruit fly infestation, you can't just live like that, right? So, I really, it's a sensitive one, but sometimes all we can do is bless them with love and light, but you gotta go. Um, Mandy, you like that armed lock, eh? Yeah, absolutely. Jocelyn, is there is it different when communicating with animals who are in the physical plane versus the spirit world? Would you need mediumship abilities? Well, you all have mediumship abilities. So first of all, Jocelyn, you have mediumship abilities. For me, animals that are living feel very different than animals who have passed. When I communicate with them, it feels very different. I have had other students tell me that they don't feel a difference with the communication. Again, everybody works differently. You can also ask animals who have passed to show you a sign when they're connecting with you. Just can you just give me a sign so that I know that it's an animal that has passed. But you need to navigate through that with your own feelings and your own spidey senses. And sometimes it's as simple as this. And I say this to my students in my beginner class is how do they feel? Do they feel living or do they feel past? What comes into your mind first when I ask that question? Asking yourself that question, living or past. What do you feel or what do you know right away? That is often the easiest way to navigate through that. Should we do a I know there's a lot of message on here, you guys, and I'm doing my best to get to as many, but I do have to get to work. We're on here for 36 minutes. Let's go for a collective message. I'm pulled to the spirit animal guidebook. So what do we need to know as a group? And let's open up here. It's a Monday. You know what I opened up on? The donkey. Volunteer. That's spirit having a joke, a laugh with us, or what? The donkey. Volunteer. Give your time and physical energy to a service organization that is compatible with your philosophy and beliefs. Listen to and respect your intuition, particularly when it comes to doing something that has potential risks. Take your time and proceed cautiously and slowly, but keep on moving ahead, pausing only to determine the best direction to go toward your destination. The more you express and honor your inner truth, the more recognition and acknowledgement you'll receive. Holy smokes. Does that not go into what I channeled this morning about our transformation and new beginnings and our landing pad and our intuition or that inner knowing piece? We just talked about that in the first 10 minutes of our conversation this morning. Take time and proceed cautiously, but keep on moving ahead and pausing to determine the best direction to go. That's intuition. That's intuition. We're coming into a deeper place, you guys. And I think that that is absolutely glorious. I hope that you enjoyed spending time with me here this morning. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed our time. Wesley, I've also heard about cockroaches crawling into things like power supply units. Many of them crawl into the high voltage side of a PlayStation for power supplies that don't turn on sometimes. Some things are a little pesty. You know what I'm kind of interested though, and I'm not even sure if it's in this book, but since you've mentioned it, let's just see if it is. I don't see it. I was just thinking maybe cockroach was in the book here. No, no, it's not in the book. I was thought maybe there might have been a message here if it was in the book, but I don't see it. Um, but there are things in our physical world that have to be done, and removing of pests that are of a hazard is one of them. Um, I do hope that you all have a glorious day. I will see you back here on Wednesday. I will be on live Wednesday. However, I will not be on Friday. I am away Friday out of town, and have to get a very early start. So enjoy the next couple days. Connect deeper within yourselves. As always, love, light, blessings, and of course, have a spirit guided day. Take care, everybody.